welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nyasha, and thank you guys for tuning in to watch another video. So today I have a little story time. So this is a sit down video. I have a little story time for you guys, and I want to apologize in advance if you hear any background noise like this goo sound right now. There are people right outside the gate who are busy with construction. So yeah, and at some point, Lana and stuff. So yeah, I do apologize for that. So this is not a highly requested video, but rather a frequently asked question. So as some of you know, we were pregnant not so long ago. Today is actually a day where our baby would have turned 6 months, So I was kind of feeling, I don't know, it was a lot for me. So I decided to distract myself maybe or something, because my emotions were all over the place. So I just decided to shoot this video. And yeah, so let's get right into this video. I don't know where I'm gonna start. Where do I even start? Maybe from when I found out I was pregnant, my pregnancy journey, and eventually leading to the labor and delivery and the after whatever, and how everything happened at the end. Yeah, let's just do it like that. Yeah, so when I found out I was pregnant, it was around September 2021. I got engaged on the 3rd of September. We got engaged on the 3rd of September. You have to excuse me with the I where it's supposed to be a week. It needs a little bit of getting used to. So we found out we were pregnant on the 3rd of September 2021. No, we got engaged on the 3rd of September 2021. And I found out I was pregnant maybe about the 15 September or somewhere there, 2021. Yeah, I think so. And right then I couldn't tell. Like I immediately went into a mild depression where I wasn't even eating. It was bad because I was so scared. Like I did not even understand what I was gonna do with myself. Like it was something that I had not planned. We had not planned. We were planning that we were going to have a baby maybe in 3 to 4 years time, or 2 to 3 years, like whichever way, like, but let's just give it a few years, So yeah, that was the initial plan, but God had other plans, found out we were pregnant, and me having to accept that I was pregnant took time, because also I was not having any nausea, I wasn't having any cravings or anything like that, but I just wasn't eating because I don't know what was happening with my mental state, and I couldn't even accept that I was pregnant because I wasn't feeling anything, I wasn't feeling any changes, I wasn't going through any changes. I couldn't even believe it myself that I was pregnant, because nothing says I'm pregnant, it's only the test that said you're pregnant, girl. But it took time for me to process and eventually accept and believe it, So, but in that time, I was not even eating. I was so scared. At some point, I think I was even angry or something, like angry at myself for Mara, and I took time to accept it, and I wasn't even eating. Like I could take like a carrot a day, 1 carrot a day, and my husband, and it's only because he would force me to eat, like you need to eat and stuff like that, but I would not even feel hungry to start with. So yeah, that's how it was. I think it was a little depression. I don't understand what was happening with me that time. And I started going for my um okay, before I went for my ANC appointments, um there was a time where I had I used to love milk tart before pregnancy, and there was a time I had milk tart and it felt like, no, this is not nice, you know. And I also had a pineapple, and it tasted like I literally had chili in my mouth. I felt like I had chili in my mouth. So that's when I was like, yeah, now it's real. I think, yeah. Busy. And at that time, I think I was three, close to 4 months pregnant. And that's when I decided, you know what, Monday, I am going to, I think it was over the weekend at the time, because, yeah, over the weekend, I was like, you know what, I think on Monday, I need to go to the clinic. And that's what happened. On Monday, I went there and everything was fine. I think it was when I found out I was pregnant around September, which was almost 2 months. And October, I did not do anything about it. October was just a month where I was in denial with the pregnancy or something, or whatever that was happening with me. It was just a bad month for me. And it was my birthday month, and I don't know what was happening with me. I was not myself throughout that whole month. And then in November, that's when I started to go for my ANC visits. And I think I was almost 4 months pregnant then. Or four, I don't remember. So when I started going for my ANC classes, I didn't even tell anyone. Like, it was just literally me and my husband who knew about the pregnancy. And I didn't even tell my mom, because I had decided right then that we need to keep this private. I want this to be as private as possible, you know. I don't want anybody knowing about my pregnancy until I am ready to say we have a baby, you know. I didn't tell my mom until later on, after I think I went for my ANC visits around the first week of November, maybe probably 3 to 4, somewhere there. I don't remember the dates. And then mid-November, I think maybe after the 15, so that's when I told my mom, "Hooray, we are having a baby." And she was so excited. She was so ecstatic. She was, you know, she took it way more than what I expected. She was more excited than I expected her to be, you know. I expected her to say things like, oh, but you guys rushed this, you guys should have waited, stuff like that. But nah, she was chilled. Actually, she was okay. She was good, and she was so excited and so supportive. Like, she was very, very supportive. And then came a time where I started doing scans and everything. I went to the doctor to do scans and all that, you know. And everything seemed fine. Everything was okay. I did not see anything that was kind of weird or anything. The only thing I was actually interested in was finding out the gender of the baby, you know. But my baby would always be hiding. I wouldn't see anything, you know. So eventually I like, as time went by, I stopped doing the scans, because I was like, you know what, now I actually wanted to see the gender, and it's not showing, so it's okay, let's leave it at that, you know. There's no need for us to be going there all the time, you know. Okay, fast forward to when close to 9 months. So when I was in my last trimester, which was almost time for me to, when I was close to my delivery date, um, I had we had our Lobola Day on the 23rd of April, which was around the same time as my due date. So our Lobola, during that time, I was so skeptical. I was like, you know, we could be here planning for this day, and on that day or something like that, I'm in labor. You know, short left, speed. You know, but yo, I was so prayerful during that time. Like, I don't even think I've ever been so serious about prayer and so consistent with prayer like I've ever been in my pregnancy days. Like, that time, even when I was sitting having food, eating something, I would be praying in my heart. I would be praying over my baby. I would be praying over my belly. Every time I'm in the bathtub, I would be praying. Every time I'm sitting down, I would be praying. When I'm walking on the street, I'm praying. I don't even, it might sound like I'm just saying it, but that is literally what I was doing. I've never prayed so hard in my entire life. Even for the day when the lobola was happening, I prayed so much over that day. I was like, God, I want to see this day. I want to be there. I want to see everything. If I'm going to go into labor, let it be Kamata 24, like at night after everything has happened. And you know what? The day went well. Everything was good, you know. And then right after my lobola, that's when I started praying, now this baby must come out. Now I want this baby to, come already. Yeah. And I started going to the clinic right after, I think 2 days after my lobola, because my lobola was on Saturday. I think on Monday I went to the clinic for my appointment again, and that's when they said to me, you know what, if you don't get any contractions or anything like that, then come back at date ESO. And of which the date they gave me, I think, was month end of April or first day of May or something like that, or after that. I don't remember the dates correctly, but then those days passed and I was not in labor, and I went back to the clinic, and they transferred me to the hospital. And I think first time I went to the hospital was the 5th May. Yeah, 5 May. I went to the hospital in the morning, and I got there and they checked everything, and that's when now things started to get real. Then I found out that the baby was not sitting in the right position, and I had to go for an elective C-section, and right then after the doctor told me, I was like, even when I was hopeful and positive, there was something in the back of my mind that was always saying, be prepared, my dear, prepare yourself, and I was so prayerful. I prayed a lot, and it felt almost like God was speaking to me and preparing me and telling me to it's almost like I was expecting something that was going to test me, but I didn't think, that death was the worst thing that could have happened. I was not thinking that, but I did assume that I did have something in me that was telling me, now I need to be armed. I don't know if I should say armed, but I knew right then, and I knew, you know what? As much as you've been very prayerful, you need to pray harder. And it was on a Friday, I think. So the doctor told me that I will be booked for a C-section on Monday, which was the 9th. Was it the 9th? Yes, the 9th. So, and they also explained to me that, you know what, throughout the weekend, there will be no elective C-sections happening, only emergency C-sections. So you can either go home and come back on Sunday for admission and then be booked for Monday, or you can choose to stay in the hospital until then. And I was like, no, I'm not staying here. No, I'm going home. So I went back home on that Friday, and when I got home, I was so overwhelmed, but I was so prayerful. Like throughout the 9 months, I was praying hard, guys. But on that same weekend, I prayed 10 times hard. I wouldn't even be speaking to anyone. I wouldn't even talk to anyone. Even my husband, when he would be calling me and all that, I would be like, you know what? I'm not even in a space to talk to anyone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be in this moment and pray over this baby, And that's what happened. On Sunday, Sunday morning, I went back to the hospital with my mom, and I got admitted. Everything was fine. I spent the night. They took a COVID test on that same Sunday, which was hell. So yeah, they did the COVID test, and then Monday morning came. And on Monday morning, so this nurse in the morning, streets of Pitori, Mazambani Africa. Yeah, this is when you know Ukokas. So yeah, and Monday morning came around 5:30 a.m. They wake you up so early to take your vitals and everything. So I'm talking to this nurse who was attending to me, telling her, I'm scheduled for a C-section for today and all that. And this lady's like, no, I don't think that will be happening today, my dear. And I'm like, why? She's like, no, it's because the list is long. This is a public hospital. So, riaka list, and the list is quite long. On Friday, Bali Bukile for these elective C-sections, and the list is quite long. So, list, I was like, oh, okay. And on that Sunday, I didn't eat. The last meal I had was probably around 5 or 6, and I was hungry like nobody's business. And this lady tells me, no, you're not gonna have your C-section today, guys. Right then I stood up. When she was there, I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I went outside, close to the gate. If you know George Mukari, So I had this lady who was a friend. She was like my neighbor, like right next to me. Naliana, really too, we were scheduled for a C-section since Friday. We've been seeing each other since Friday. We were scheduled, and Rabadi neighbor, and everything in the same ward, scheduled for the same date, the COVID test, same time, everything. Really too, none of those go. So now we are both hungry. And then our doctor comes. I think maybe after 2 hours or so, the doctor comes. And when he gets there, he's like, "Come on, you guys are going to theater." Guys, regular quotes. And the doctor was like, "You guys ate?" And we're like, "Yeah," because there's a nurse who told us, we're not going to be going for our C-sections today, probably tomorrow, because of this and this and this. The doctor was like, "Who's that nurse? I need to see her," because wow. what is this that she's been telling you? And guess what? This nurse knocked off 6. She was on night duty, so she's out. We don't know her name. Wow. And the doctor's like, Hashem, you guys are gonna sit there until tomorrow then. You're lost. And then yeah, sharp, we sit. Nah. Right before my doctor left, I went to the toilet and I realized that my, what do you call the thing? The mucus plug fell when I was in the bathroom. And it was okay. I wasn't feeling anything, But right then I was like, so went back to bed. When my doctor came, I explained to him what had happened, and he checked me and he was like, no, you're still closed. You can chill. I was like, okay. I chilled. Maybe right after he left, maybe 15 minutes. Contractions are funny. I had a little taste in Yana, but it wasn't that bad. It's like, if these are contractions, then they don't be that bad. I was chilling. Maybe 4 hours goes by and they start to get hectic. As the hours go by, the heavier they get, the more painful it gets. And I wasn't saying anything. I was quiet. I was like, you know what? I can survive this until tomorrow. It's not really that bad, And then comes the time, like the afternoon. I think it was around 3. They started to get really painful. But I was still surviving. And then it was visiting hours. My mom came, she brought me food, she cooked for me and brought me food, and it was still warm, very hot. I enjoyed. But, I'm busy eating and bad. Like, it's really bad. I'm sitting with them, we're outside, I'm sitting with my mom and my husband, and I'm there like, I'm not even going to tell these people what I'm going through. I'm going to keep quiet, and I can't wait for them to leave so I can go back to my bed, rest, because when you're having contractions, you feel drained. You just want to sleep. Like that 5 minutes break that the contractions will give you, it will feel like an hour. You want to sleep. You pass out for that 5 minutes. So as we were sitting there, I was eating. My mom brought me food. My husband brought a takeaway for dinner time. There is a small kid behind me. And he's busy playing with the monkeys there. And I'm in my head, I'm like, I even said it. Like, I was like, this kid, the moment the monkey did him high, they'll take that packet and he will cry real tears. And that's what happened. Like, right after I said it, it happened. Those monkeys snatched the pack out of his hands and he cried real badly. And right there when he was crying, I had a contraction and I froze. And my husband said, and you know what I said? I said, I can't look back, it's too far. At that moment I was expecting them to know, this girl, something's wrong, but they didn't pick up anything because that's how strong I was. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna cause any scene. I'm a strong girl. Plus, throughout my pregnancy, my husband used to say, so now I was like, I'm easily bossed. Yo, guys, I regret but I'm in pain. I kept quiet, and then nighttime came. I ate during the day, so now it's nighttime and I have takeaway that I was supposed to eat for dinner. But now the contractions are intense. Like, now it's bad. It's bad. I had fruit and everything. I started giving them out, like passing them around, like, take, see. That's how frustrated I was. That's how much pain I was facing. I didn't even want to see food next to me. I kept giving away the food. And because they said I was booked for tomorrow morning, and then like around 6-7 p.m. is that like you should be having your last meal and not have anything else right after. So as I was giving away the food, I was like, I don't even want to make the mistake of eating again. Look where I am now. When I was supposed to have had have gone to theater, and now I'm having to face this. I wasn't going to be seeing all of this. The baby would just be out pain-free, you know. I'll deal with the after effects of the pain of the C-section, you know. Now I was going through it. Now it was bad. I've never felt so much pain in my entire life. Guys, even talking about it, like, you know, if like the way I was holding on to chippy ampeto, like if it was wood, I would have broke it. Like I would be on the bed for like 2 minutes and be like, oh no, I think this bed is causing it to be worse. I would stand up and sit on the chair, and 2 minutes later I'm like, oh no, it's getting worse when I'm sitting. I need to lie down. Like I was doing namela for like, you guys don't understand. And I'm the only one having contractions in the whole ward. I think Nerlika 8 or something, and I'm the only one with contractions. But Wampu hates up and down. And I'm not even saying anything. Funny enough, I'm not even telling the nurses what I'm going through. You know, I'm quiet like that. And, you know, so when then nighttime came, I tried to sleep as much as I could. Like when my contractions would give me a break, I would pass out. I would literally pass out and be sleeping. And when it comes back, that's when I would wake up. And it would feel like I slept for an hour and it's only 5 minutes. Yeah. And then came midnight. It was 12 o'clock. 0000, that's when I called the nurse and I was like, and the nurse came and checked me and she was like, you're 4 centimeters dilated. How long have you been having these contractions? I was like, since morning. And she's like, since morning and you haven't said anything. You're just quiet. I was like, yeah. She's like, why? I was like, no, it's because I thought, just because you guys said I'll be going to theater tomorrow morning, there was nothing you guys could do. You have to wait until the next morning. But that was not the case. I should have spoken. I should have said something sooner and they would have taken me straight to emergency. Hey, girl, did I not just play myself trying to act like Mbogod? So now it's midnight. They start preparing me for theater. Okay, they start preparing me to go to emergency, and yeah, it was fun. And it was so cold that night. It was so cold. I'll never forget. Woo! That night, I even have pictures. I'll try to attach the pictures. Like at 00:45, I went to. That's when they were taking my stuff, putting it away. They were going to put it in a locker or something. And then I went to theater. You know, I just had to go from this ward across to the other. Just go to the other ward because the emergency was just right opposite the ward I was in. But having to walk, and remember I had to take off my shoes and everything. Like I had to take off my ring, do not have any earrings or anything, any jewelry, anything. Like even if on a letapo here by your hand, you had to take it off, you know. So now I'm going, and I'm barefoot. The floor was ice cold. Okay, to the other ward. Okay, everything's fine. I get there. They tell me to go to get on the bed. I'm on the bed, and as soon as I get onto the bed, my water broke. But in my mind, I was thinking this is pee because I had a catheter. So I was thinking, no, it's just pee. Only to find out I started feeling cold. I'm like, why am I so cold? Like it's like I'm my mates or something. I'm just find out my water broke. And this nurse comes to me and asks me, did your water break? And I'm like, ma'am, I know nothing. And at this point, because I'm in so much pain and I'm so tired, when you're asking me questions, it's like you trying to make me think hard, and I'm not in a state to be doing any of that. Or I'm frustrated. Get worse. So she was like, "Oh, your water broke." And my doctor comes and checks on me, and he says to the lady, the nurse who was there, says, "Give her what? I don't know what was that. I don't know what he was talking about." And the lady is busy. Like it's people are in labor. Everybody's in labor where I am. It's like 8 of us, and everyone's in labor. Some of them are having their natural birth and everything. And this lady, as soon as my doctor told her what to do, there was another lady who was about to push a baby out. So she had to attend to her. She rushed to attend to her, and she left me. But it wasn't. No, I'm not that I'm complaining. It was quite interesting actually. I even forgot I was having contractions. Like I was, if you know the word I'm talking about, if you've been to 29 or Karankwe, then you know what I'm talking about. Everyone's screaming, so busy. People are pushing babies out. Like, like everything, so busy. It's actually so funny now that I think about it. But then I was so traumatized. It was so scary. It was scary. Like when you go in there, someone's pushing a baby out and they're screaming their lungs out and you're listening. Like, Yeah, so after she helped whoever she was helping, I'm still there. And it's time now for me to be going to theater. And right before I go into theater, so I moved from the bed I was on to go to the other one that they push into theater. And right before I get onto that bed, I tell her, that doctor said you should give me something. I don't remember what it was. She's like, "Oh, serious, I didn't give it to you." I said, "Yeah, you didn't." And she was like, "Oh, that was a pill to stop your contractions. But I'm sure I'm like, what? Something is wrong, Kawen. We're not over time." In my heart, like I felt like I could punch that lady. Guys, you had one job. You just put me out of my misery. Yeah, maybe it could have helped subsidize the pain or something. Yes, you are right. Maybe niggas bereke, but we could have tried. Like we could have tried. How could you do this to me? And but yeah, I was already into theater, so there was nothing we could do. And then I go into theater, and there's only one person in theater. This lady, I think she was a pediatrician or something. She says to me, because your I don't know who that person she was talking about was, because also at that time it was still bad. Like she said somebody was not here and we're gonna wait for like 45 minutes or something. And that somebody who is very important for this procedure or something. I don't know, maybe or I don't know what they call those. So she's like, but oh yeah, I think it was, is it an anesthetist or something, because as soon as she came in, that's when the other doctors came and everything started. Yeah, I think that was the anesthetist. And now I'm having contractions, and now I have to bend. They're telling me bend like a banana. I'm as and who busy who busy, the contractions are heavy. Like now it's at that point where I don't even know. It's at a point where I can't even function anymore. For so long. I think it was around 4. I got into the emergency ward around 1, and now it's around 4. in the morning or 5 in the morning, and they have to inject my back and I have to bend, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't function anymore. And even when they said you need to bend, it was impossible, almost impossible, because I was in so much pain. I couldn't do anything anymore, and they took so much time. They really struggled with me here. Like, if they were not patient or they didn't know what I was going through or something, I don't know. Maybe Mautu or something. But they were so patient because they understood. Like, immediately when I had to bend, the contraction would hit. I think instead of those, they give you 2 injections, I think. And I think they injected me like, they tried to inject me like 6 times before it could go through. Like, for the first one, I think maybe they attempted to inject me like 3 times and they failed. Only the last one was successful. For the second one, the same thing happened. Maybe 2 or 3 failed, and then the last one was successful. So till today, I still have pain on my back. Like, it has made my back so hella painful. Like, I have so much back pain, like it doesn't go away. Right there, even if I press, I know I'll feel the pain, so even sitting for too long or standing for too long, I start to feel the pain. So yeah, eventually they succeeded and they started operating, and they were done, but I didn't know they were done because they took the baby out, but Ali, there is no sound. My baby is not crying, but he was alive. I just didn't know, I just didn't know what was happening, because also they have this thing where they like close it or something. So now they are done, everything's done. To take me out of theater, and I think that was the pediatrician. She came to me and she's like, so the baby's out. I'm like, okay. And then she's telling me, but he's been rushed to ICU. The thing is, when he was still inside, and Ametsa. So now they had to drain all of that out, and he wasn't breathing properly. Okay. So now, and she also tells me, and I don't know, did she say he broke the hand or the leg? I don't remember. So, and I'm relaxed, I'm chilled. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. He'll be fine. It happens. I'm sure it happens all the time. They know that. So she's like, oh no. She also made it easy for me to say, okay, it's fine, because she didn't scare me or anything like that. She said it calmly, and when I was responding to her, she was like, Ceci, can you hear me? I was like, yes, I can hear you. You said this and this and this. She was like, oh, okay. So I was like surprised. I thought you can't hear a thing that I said. I said, no, I heard everything. And then that's when I asked her, is it a boy or a girl? And she said, oh, it's a boy. And I was like, and she was like, no, don't do that. And I was like, no, I was really hoping for a girl. And she was like, no, don't be like that, it's a blessing, I was like, okay, yeah, it's a boy, but I was not hoping for a boy. I kept dreaming it was a girl. My husband dreamt it was a girl, everything kept saying it was a girl. But funny enough, I had one baby blanket that I bought, and it had blue stars. I think it was a blue and white one, light ones. Like, it was so cute. Deep down, honestly speaking, I did know, deep in my heart, I knew it would be a boy. But when you are in denial and you want it to be a girl and you believe it's a girl, that's what I did. But deep down, I knew what I wanted. Imfana both. So sorry. Then I went to, they pushed me out of theater. It was, as soon as I was outside, I realized there's like sunlight. It's more, I still thought, you know, when you are there, time is flying so harshly that you don't even realize, I've been in here for like 3 hours or 6 hours or something. You don't even realize it. I'm outside and come on, see how guys. I'm being pushed on the bed to the next ward. Let's go bright. I'm like, what time is it, Candy? Yo. So I've been through it. Since my thing until now. Even wow. So yeah, I got to the other ward and yeah, I think I slept for like 12 hours or so, 6 hours, and they tried to, after C-section, you guys know, you'll be sleeping for 6 hours, and then after that 6 hours they help you stand, and that was the most hectic thing, standing. Oh, so they helped me stand, and I was so dizzy, like it was flipping, I don't know, I couldn't even see what was happening. I was like this. I told them I was dizzy, and they were like, okay. They tried to hold me until they changed the bed sheets and everything, put me back to bed, and I slept, I think, for another 6 hours. I think I slept from, it was the 10th, it's like at 11, I think. Yeah, the next morning. And they would just wake me up to take my vitals and for the injections and everything, but I was out of it. They would inject me, and I would go back to sleep. And that medication was helping because, guys, after giving birth, like, you literally sleep like you're dead. Like, even if there was a gun sound next to you, you would not hear a thing. Bomb, you won't hear a thing, like you're dead. It was so nice. I slept until maybe 11. Oh yeah, before then, later that day, my mom and my husband came to see me, and when they came, I was out of it. Like, even when I saw my mom, it felt like I was seeing her from a distance, and she was like, "Mano guy," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see you. Go and see him." And my mom was like, "Him, good boy, must." I was like, "Yeah," I'm like, oh. Yeah, and she was like, oh. I was like, I see you. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, go and find out, my dear, because I don't know, you know? And yeah, my mom went, my husband went, and they went to see him. I was quite sad that I couldn't go and see him at that time, you know? And they left. It was the 11th. Couldn't still see him until I had to take out the drip. So yeah, on the 11th I couldn't see him, and by then I could walk freely. I was okay, I was fine, I was able to stand on my own and walk without holding on to the pole, drippy or whatever. So yeah, it was the 11th, and yeah, I would still pass out. Like, time flew out so fast that I was sleeping for the entire day. They would inject me, I would sleep, and I would wake up maybe 6 hours or so. I would only wake up when they take my vitals and give me injections and all that, but throughout I'll be dead as sleeping. So on the 11th at night time, I think maybe around 8 p.m, they came, gave me a cup and told me I should express milk. I did that. They came to collect it, and yeah, I started seeing the baby on the 12th. Got it 12, I think, at night. I think it was around 5 p.m. That's when I started going there. And oh my god, when I started seeing the baby, it was bad. Couldn't even look at him for long without breaking down. That's how bad it was. Like, seeing my baby looking the way he was looking was just not easy for me. It would make me break down, you know. I couldn't even look at him for long without tearing up. And then, yeah, I kept, for on the 12th, I kept going every 3 hours to breastfeed. But when I got there, I couldn't feed him. I couldn't even touch him, you know, because I was so scared of touching him. You know, because he was broken, he had a broken leg, I felt like I was going to hurt him even more. So I couldn't even touch him. I asked them, like, can you please help me with, oh my god. I just said, can you guys help me with changing his diaper, because I don't think I'll be able to do it. I think I'll be hurting him even more. And yeah, they did it for me. I was only expressing milk, and he was not feeding on. He was not feeding because they still had to make sure that all the dirt that they drained out of him was completely out before we could feed him anything and contaminate. And be feeding, like, they just had to make sure everything that they were draining out was out before he could take anything in, you know. So I kept expressing the milk, and I would come back after 3 hours, spill the one I expressed 3 hours ago and express fresh breast milk. But it came to a point where I had so much breast milk, honestly, I could feed the entire hospital. But as soon as I went into the ward, the ICU ward, nothing would come out of my breast milk. Nothing would come out of my breast. Like, I had, you know, it was a mental thing. It was all here because I was so disturbed mentally that I couldn't even function. And when it's time to express breast milk, nothing is coming out. As soon as I walk out of an ICU, I'm walking back to my ward, the milk is coming out like crazy. Like, my legs were literally, the gown that I was wearing from the hospital was always so dirty. And you know, breast milk, yo, my boobs were 3 times bigger, like, you know. And when I'm in the ward, literally all the breast milk is coming out. But as soon as I get into the ICU and I'm supposed to express milk, not even a 5 ml drop is coming out. Not even, I couldn't even fill the cups. They would give us small cups like these to express milk into, but nothing would be coming out of me. And even the nurse who was there, who was looking after my baby, was like, you're not doing it properly, you're not sitting properly, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I was like, you know, I'm comfortable the way I'm sitting. I understand what you're saying, but trust me, as soon as I'm outside, the breast milk is gushing out of me. But as soon as I get in here, nothing's coming out. But you know, she couldn't understand me. She wasn't patient enough to understand what I was saying, you know, until eventually she was she had to knock off, and another nurse came, and when we spoke, she kind of understood me, and yeah, until the next day in the morning, which was the 13th. That's when the doctors came and spoke to me in the morning, the same morning. I think it was around 11 in the morning. That one doctor sat me down and they took me to this, it's right in the ICU section where we have like, it's like almost like it's a sit down, it's a panel or something. We're sitting down and we're having discussions, and that's when they told me what was wrong with my baby. They explained everything to me. And funny enough, I already knew in my head, horror, there is something bigger than what they've told me, but they just didn't tell me. They just weren't saying anything. And they had told my husband and my mom what was wrong, but they asked them to not tell me until they feel horror. I was ready to hear all about it. And yeah, that's when they told me on the 13th in the morning. They said they explained to me what is wrong and everything, and I'm not going to be saying the details. And now, okay, as soon as they told me that, I was okay, I was strong enough to, even when they were telling me, I never broke down or anything. I was just there trying to understand and everything, ask the right questions and all that, So yeah, afterwards, they were like, I went back to my ward, and that's when I got to my bed and I started going onto Google to read more about the condition that they told me about. I wanted to educate myself as much as I could, and yeah, that's even when I told my mom. I called my mom, we spoke over the phone and everything, yeah, it was quite heavy right there and then. I just didn't have any hope. I just lost all, and as I was in the hospital, I would be talking to my mom over the phone, would have conversations, like long conversations, and we literally said it, and we said, it's all up to God, and um, we, the same day after I spoke to my mom, I called my husband, we spoke on the phone and everything, and oh no, on the 12th, before everything, before they told me all of that, I would be, I was so disturbed mentally after I saw that baby. After I saw my baby, I was not okay. So I couldn't sit in the ward. I was not willing to sit in the ward for like the entire day, because I felt like it was draining me, because there's so many kids around who are crying and everything, and I just couldn't bear sitting in there. It's so painful. Like, you are there, you don't have your baby with you, your baby's in ICU fighting for their life, and someone right next to you has their baby, and it's cute, man, but you just don't want to be there, all the time watching that, because it's your wish. It's something you wish you had the privilege of doing, but it's not like that. So I couldn't sit in there. I would always be outside, and I would always make sure, if I get a chance to go outside, like, we go out every 3 hours. As soon as I'm out, I don't even want to come back into the hall. I'll be sitting outside for so long. They would look for me and not find me. That's how it was. So on the 13th, as I was on the phone with my mom, a nurse came up to me and was like, we realized you're not here a lot. You are always out. We don't know what's going on with you. What? And I was like, I didn't even say anything. They were speaking, but I would not even respond to a thing that they were asking me or anything. I'll just block. I'll just ignore them while they're there facing me. And yeah, they let me be. I slept, and as I was sleeping, around 4, I started feeling like, I was sleeping, I think around maybe 4:15, 20:15. I started feeling sick. I started feeling like I'm sick now. I feel sick. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting paralyzed or something. I feel like I can't move or something, I wanted to get off the bed. I feel like I'm having a runny stomach. I want to get off the bed, go to the toilet, but I feel like I can't move. That's how I felt. And I tried to get up. One of the ladies who was next to me said, let me help you up. And I was like, no, please don't, because the way I'm feeling right now, I feel like once you try to carry me, you're gonna hurt me because I'm in so much pain right now. And I tried to get up on my own, and I went to the toilet. And as soon as I entered into the bathroom, they called out my name. And as soon as they called out my name, I was like, this is it. I know what they're gonna tell me. They're gonna tell me that my baby's no more. And I was like, yeah, I am coming. I'm still in the bathroom. And I took like 5 minutes, and then I went out, told me I'm being called to the ICU. And then I went there. And as soon as I was there, they told me to sit. When you enter into the space and they direct you like, no, don't go there, sit here. That's when I knew, I know what you're going to tell me. So already I was processing it. I knew what they were going to tell me, So I was processing it on my own. I know. Guys. Yeah. So I sat there for almost an hour. Because it was feeding time at the time, they tried to make sure that feeding time passes, and then right after that, then they can talk to me, because they didn't want me making a scene in front of the other ladies and everything. And yeah, that feeding time went. It was an hour. Feeding time is an hour, so it was around 5. Oh, was it 5? I think feeding time was 5, and now it was around 6. So yeah, they brought me into an office, started talking to me, and that's when they told me like they started, when doctors, they'll start telling you like what was happening, like we told you what was happening, what, and you're like, oh yeah, they did tell me that, and I already knew. I was just sitting there listening to this lady speak, this doctor speak, and I was like, but I know what you want to tell me, but let me not rush you. And that's when she told me, and I remember the exact words she said, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He passed on today around 4:30. And I was like, okay. And then I told them, can I please go get my phone, and I need to make a few calls. And they were like, okay. I went outside, I wasn't crying, I wasn't doing anything. I went outside straight to the ward I was in, and got my phone, came back, and I started to call my husband. The first person I called was my husband. I told him what happened. I told him that the baby's normal. And he was actually at the mall trying to get me food. And he was coming for the nighttime visit. What time was it? The 7 p.m. visit. And then I told him, no, just go back, get me clothes. And come fetch me because I want to go home today. You know, I don't think I want to sleep here. And he was like, okay. He came back, I think around 7:30 or so. That's when he got to the hospital. And I also called my mom. I don't think I called my mom. I think I texted her. I sent her a WhatsApp message telling her that the baby's normal. And I think she's the one who called me a few minutes after. And I was still in the ward, so I was like, can I see him? And they said, you can, but let's wait for the other ladies to finish with feeding and everything, and then you can go and see him. Okay. And then I went to see him. I got to see him. I got to hold him, you know. I even prayed over him. I even prayed over him, you know. And at least they allowed me to take pictures of him. In the end, that was it. I said my goodbyes, and that's it. So yeah, that's how things panned out. That's how everything happened till the last day. And I still have photos of him. I look at them every now and then. But unfortunately, I can't share that. That's how it is right now. I am still on my healing journey. Don't think I'll ever heal from that. I don't think we'll ever heal from that. But at least now we are able to, you know, we are moving on, even though it's hard. Like, as I said, today is the day where he would have turned 6 months, and today's just been really heavy on me. You know, when I remember when I was still pregnant, we were planning on celebrating. I remember when I was pregnant, we would be like every single time I turned like into a new month, like maybe I would go into my 7th month or 8 or 9, we'd be getting a cake for every single month that we turned a month older in our pregnancy. We'd get a cake and have a celebration, you know. So we had planned that from the moment our baby turns 1 month, 2, 3, 4, we would have celebrations, you know. And the big celebration would be from 6 months, and then the other one would be 1 year when he turns a year old. So it was kind of hard because I already, you know when you are pregnant and you're expecting a baby, you are planning, you're already living a life as if someone's here with you guys, you know. We included him in everything, you know. We had already been living a life where we were already parents. We were already planning for him, you know. We had savings, especially for him. And unfortunately, they were used to give him a burial. They were used for the unfortunate part. And now I decided that I needed to have something. I always want to have a busy schedule. That is my coping mechanism, I think. I always want to have a busy schedule, always find something to do. So if I'm sitting and doing nothing, it's not working, it's not on. Like, I have so many things going on in my mind, and it's not good. And I think if I'm not doing anything, I'm going crazy, because there are always times where I didn't have anything to do and I'll just be randomly walking. I don't know where I was going. I don't know what was going on in my head. I don't know where I wanted to go. I would just be going around in circles on the street, you know. I remember one time it was raining heavily. It was raining so heavily. And I went outside in the rain, and it was heavy rain. I went outside and I decided to go to the mall. In that rain, I went to the mall, and when I got there, I went to this shop. They sell some cupcakes that I used to love when I was pregnant. And I went there and I wanted to get those. And I got there and they didn't have them, you know. I stood by the door, realized they were not there. I started crying. I cried so much. The ladies in the shop, they were like, oh, but they didn't even know what to do. They didn't even know what to say to me. Like, they were so shocked. They were like, I can't pick a girl. And they tried to say to me, no, you know, you need to come in the morning or something. I'm sure they thought I was a mental nutcase or something, because the way I was acting was just not right. It was if I had to come across someone who did what I did, then I wouldn't know what to do with this one. And then, yeah, basically my coping mechanism is always having a busy schedule, you know. And I'm so glad that my husband and I are there for each other, you know. We'll be sitting in the house, making memories, you know, going back memory lane with our pregnancy and all that, you know. So yeah, I think that's what's been making me strong or something. And I know sometimes when someone talks about something that is really sad, people just be like, what if you are pity or something, you know. But it's really not the case. Sometimes you just can't help it. You just be talking about it over and over and over and over again, because I don't even know how to say it. But the more you talk about it, the more you feel, I don't know, better. You don't feel better, but something, you know. It's like you get some sort of comfort in talking, you know. So yeah, that's what's been keeping me going, you know. And I still pray. I still pray a lot, even though I feel like sometimes I just feel like our sometimes you gotta guys, our no rapela, but the more rapela, the more it's wrong. So, but I still do pray. I'm still hopeful. I still go for checkups and all that, you know. Still trying to prepare for the future in case we want to have kids again in the future, you know, and all that. So yeah, that's our story. And yeah, my husband was not going to be a part of this video because he's not a cameraman. He's not one for the camera. And imagine him breaking down on camera or something like that. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna be able to. He would have been able to shoot this kind of a video, a very sad one like this. But yeah, that's basically it. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel, become part of the family, and let's grow together, man. Let's grow together. And till the next video, let me not give you guys a sad or like, yeah, please do subscribe, please do like this video, and comment something nice on this video, and I will see you guys on my next one.